This is crazy. This is freaking crazy that I'm doing this in front of you. Am I going to show this? Of course I'm going to show this. Why wouldn't I show this? I'm going to show this because not everything works perfectly every time that we want it to work. But I think if this is something that people are not going to appreciate, then that's fine. I feel like I'm talking to myself right now. Do you guys talk to yourselves? I talk to myself sometimes and I catch myself and I think, oh my God, am I hearing voices back? Do I hear somebody answering me? Because my sister who's a doctor, she said it was okay to talk to yourself, but when you're hearing voices back, that's when you need medical help. This is crazy. I am still having a little bit of a conflict because I'm not sure how I want to proceed with this episode of my video for this week before the new year. And I know a lot of people have been talking about the article in Politico. I was thinking about it earlier this morning before I started recording myself. And I was trying to figure out if I should say political, trying to pretend that I don't have an accent, but I do have an accent. So then I'm going to call it the opinion article in Politico, because everyone's been talking about it. And a lot of people are saying that they don't understand why all these people that were called narcissists have in common. They're talking about, of course, the B-list celebrity Meghan Markle. They're talking about Elon Musk. They're talking about Kanye West, the new name, Elizabeth Holmes, and there was another one, Sam Bankman-Fried, I believe the pronunciation of his name is. And a lot of people are coming to comment on it, and I think I'm going to be trying to do the same thing, but from an acting point of view. Instead of talking about why they should not be all in the same group, because that's what some of the commentaries have been on YouTube, I'm going to try to find the similarities between them all. As you can see today, let me just start with this. As you can see today, I've decided not to blur my background. I don't know if you can see, but it's not blurred. And the reason for that is because I received those beautiful flowers. Do you see those beautiful flowers back there? And I thought, why not use them and unblur my background? And then as soon as I put them there, going back to my analysis and my commentary coming from an acting perspective, as soon as I put them there and I saw my framing for today's video, everything that I see, all the images that come in our heads, especially for somebody who's trained as an actor, as an acting teacher, the images relate to something in the past because of the training that I explained that we have to do as actors, because we merge the personal with the imaginary, and because the training happens repetitive and in practice all the time, then you do it without being conscious of doing it. It's instinctual. You do it without realizing you're doing it. So as soon as I saw those flowers that I received from my acting family, which I'm so thankful for, they're so beautiful. They're almost like our Christmas tree because they have those pine tree in them. But then at the same time, as soon as I set them in this frame, it was so crazy because it reminded me of Romania, as I told you in some of the videos prior. Romania, where I come from, before the 1989 revolution, before East Germany with West Germany came together and the wall was tear down the wall. Romania was a communist country. I remember that because everything was controlled by the state. The channels that we used to have on television and the shows that they were showing were very much in sync with what the state, with what the dictator, Ceausescu, you might have heard of him. I'm not getting into politics because that's not what I'm an expert at. But I just wanted to make that, I just wanted to let you know how the flowers are taking me back to that time before Romania became a democracy. It was when Romania was a communist country before 89, when I was in college there. And I remember watching shows on television. I didn't think too much of it at that time because we didn't really know anything better. So we didn't know anything else. So we kind of you get used to everything. Doesn't matter how bad it is. It doesn't matter how good it is. And I'm not saying either or. What I'm saying is I remember when people were coming on television, because everything was so controlled, the set was very simple. There were not a lot of, there was not a lot of room or space for free expression. So they would set up a frame, something like this, with flowers, huge bouquets of flowers that were set next to the performer, the singer, the comedian, whatever that was. So this kind of reminds me of that. Okay, I think what I wanted to kind of go into today was to try to find what are the tools that all these people that I mentioned before from the article Narcissist. Okay, it says, what is the title here? Opinion, magazine, Politico. 2022 is the year we all finally got tired of narcissists. And then he goes on to say, over the past decade or so, a mix of shameless self-aggrandizement and self-confident charm has served certain people extraordinarily well, turning them into venture capital darlings, licensed merchandise magnets, Forbes cover models, social media superstars, Oprah confessors, business conference keynoters, new money plutocrats, and in one case, president. Elon Musk, Sam Bankman-Fried, Kanye West, Elizabeth Holmes, the one with the drop, the one that came up with a new medical machine that never existed, but she convinced so many people to put millions and millions of dollars into something that was just a fantasy in her head. Meghan Markle, Donald Trump. All of them used attention as currency and ego as fuel, and were rewarded for a time with what they craved. Were drawn to people who love themselves, but somewhere between the fifth and sixth hour of Harry and Meghan, the new Netflix mockumentary, I'm paraphrasing, it could be that 2022 marks the year of our love affair with narcissists, started to falter. Many of them met this year with declines in fortunes, falls from grace, or newfound public skepticism. Many seem to overstay their welcome in the public glare. And if this is the moment when we started to crave boring public figures for a change, well, to a large degree, the egotists did it to themselves. Maybe they couldn't help it. The reason why I read the beginning article is because that was something that kind of struck me, and I was going to do this video on that. There's a saying when it comes to acting. There's a saying, I do not know who came up with it. I'm not taking the credit for it, but there's a saying where I've heard it so many times being said during my entire life. The saying goes, good actors try to make the audience believe, and great actors believe themselves. One more time. Good actors try to make the audience believe, great actors believe themselves. This is where I think that these people that are mentioned in this article, and they are called narcissists, I believe that they are all similar because they all fall in the first group. The first group being good actors try to make the audience believe. I don't think they have the understanding or the capacity to be put in the second group, which is great actors believe themselves. They don't have to worry they're being applauded. They don't have to take into consideration there's an audience out there. This is what the difference is between good acting and great acting. I don't want to go into mediocrity because that's a different level. We're just going to talk about good and great today. Okay, I think what they mean by that is, of course, everything that I talk about, like I said before, I have to give you guys my personal understanding of it in order to then be able to break down it, or in order to be able to analyze it or find my understanding in a situation. So if I put myself in a situation right now, I know that I'm talking to an audience out there, big, small. I'm wishing that it's going to be big, right? So if I'm talking to an audience, which is the audience that's out there who's going to watch my video, am I more concerned with being self-aware of the fact that I have to convince you of that, which is what I'm talking about? Or do I just try to use the fourth wall being the imaginary wall, which the great actors use when they concentrate on what the situation is they are in, and leave to the side the trying to convince the audience. Fourth wall, right now, fourth wall. I'm putting the fourth wall up. Does it mean that I still make eye contact with the audience, which is the camera that's right there? Am I still aware the camera's there? Yes, I'm still aware the camera's there. But if I leave myself alone, if I turn off my mind a little bit, that part of my mind, which tells me that I have to please you, I have to convince you, I have to get my audience to grow on my YouTube channel, which it is the case, it is always going to be with me. But if I don't concentrate on that as the principal element in this video, and I raise up the fourth wall, meaning I'm still looking at the camera, I'm seeing myself in the camera, so I have to deal with what the reality is. The reality is that I'm still in front of a camera. I am still doing my episode for this week for my YouTube channel, which I already know. But then how can I convince my part of the brain to not give so much importance to that, but to leave it alone, to leave myself alone? How do I give myself permission where I'm putting up the fourth wall, the imaginary wall, or the circle of light, as it is called, where right now, I don't know if you can see the difference, but I'm not even looking in the camera anymore because I'm somewhere looking inside myself to be able to gather my thoughts so I can give an explanation, not for you, the audience, to believe me, but to give an explanation that is going to be clear. With that said, it means that I have to take a moment. I have to breathe, and I don't want this, or I don't want anybody to go and say, oh, she's doing the same thing that Prince Harry was doing where he's relaxing in the chair. It's not the same thing. It's not about doing any kind of sounds or relaxation that's going to put me as the main character in this video. The reason why I'm taking a step back is because I have to switch the concentration from trying to convince you of something to allowing myself to believe that it's going to be enough what it is that I'm going to say, and I'm not going to feel at the end of it that it doesn't make any sense. Let's go and see why these people are in the first group of being just good instead of great. And when I say good, I'm being kind about it, because I could say bad, mediocre. The reason why I believe we are fed up with these particular people in this group, as the article says, is not because we as an audience are not wanting people to be confident in who they are. It's not that we're not wanting people who know how to entertain. It's not that we don't want people who show us they overcome obstacles and challenges in order to achieve a goal. It's not that we don't want people who have enough understanding to be able to engage an audience. We will always be attracted to those kind of people. I believe the reason why these people are going to be not as efficient in creating themselves to be bigger than what they are is because they are part of the first group, which is the group of the good versus the great. Their desire to convince an audience of something they want them to be convinced of does not last. It will last for a couple of minutes on a stage. If I'm going on a stage right now and I'm trying to convince an audience, look at me. Do you see me, how great I am? Do you see that what I have to say is of such importance? Do you see that what I have to say is better than what the other person on YouTube has to say? Do you see? This is because I'm looking at you, and this is because I'm trying to make you believe me. But if I leave you alone, and if I switch that part of my brain and concentrate on what is it that I want this video to be about? I want this video to be about finding the similarities between these people who were grouped together in this article. This is going to be harder than I thought, because I'm not getting my thoughts to be with me. I can't find a linear path of where I want to go. Okay, this is what the difference is between good and great. The difference between good and great is this. The good I described before: presentation, bad acting, good. I'm just calling good and bad to be the same for this episode. But if I leave myself alone and I'm going to put my foot down because I feel like it's getting numb and I want to be relaxed, because even though you're not seeing the half part of my body, the audience is going to be able to feel that something is not comfortable in the way that my energy comes off. So I have to find a place of where I'm relaxed, my feet are on the ground, and then I try to start again. Okay. The tools of acting, the tools of great acting are: how do I turn my mind off from trying to convince you that I'm going to do a great video by concentrating, using concentration and concentrating on, for example, that pillow. Do you see the pillow that's on my sofa? There's a pillow that has so much to do with my backstory. That pillow was in our house in the village when I was a small child. That pillow is embroidered with those beautiful, different, colorful flowers. Give myself the objective to pay attention to what that pillow is. How many colors do I see on that pillow? I see red, I see blue, I see green, I see white. Above it, there are these two black and golden things that are put in a black frame with a white background. Due to the time passing, the white has become a little bit yellowish. So I'm concentrating on that rather than concentrate only on, let me get the audience to believe me. So I have to concentrate on something else when the fourth wall comes up. That's what they mean by imaginary wall. The fourth wall comes up, and it allows for me, using the sense of sight. I'm using the sense of sight to look at the pillow. I'm using the sense of sight to look at those things on the wall. I'm looking at the flowers, the real flowers. What is the difference? Look at the color between the flowers that are real on my left, and look at the pillow with the flowers that are embroidered. I'm just noticing now for the first time that they're actually the same colors. Wow, I didn't notice that before. So do you see, because my concentration right now is on those two things, those two items, I'm not as focused as I was before to try to convince you that what I'm about to do is going to be this great video. In the back of my mind, I still have that objective. I still want to do that. This is not working. Politico. How can I find this? How? This is the way that my mind is working right now, because it's not going in the direction that I wanted it to go, and I lost my objective of what I wanted to do with this episode. And now I feel like I'm a little bit frustrated because I don't know where I want to go. I thought I did, but I was a little bit, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to try one more time. Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to pay attention to you for a little bit. Hi everybody. I hope that everybody's going to continue to subscribe to my channel and share my videos with your friends and let people know. That's my want. That's one thing that I wanted to do. Okay, I got that out of the way. How is this episode going to be any different than all the other episodes? How is this episode going to be any different than all the other YouTubers who are speaking about this article, Politico? What I wanted to talk about was the tools of acting are so powerful that if used to disrupt for good, then we are in a good space. But if they are used to disrupt for bad, then we are in a bad place. And what do I mean by that? The same way with all of these people that I have mentioned before, all of them were able to get to a platform that was so huge and had so many numbers of people follow them and listen and watch their behavior, that if they were saying anything that was going to be dangerous, the people were going to take that in and believe it. If any of those people with the same huge platforms that they have are using that platform with so many people following them and watching them to disrupt for good, then we are in a good situation. How dangerous is it when we think about these tools that they all have? No, it doesn't work. It's not working. I'm going to have to come up with something else. Okay, that's not working. I think my video is going to be about me and my process in the way that it's not easy all the time to come up with something that you in your mind have an idea where you want it to go, but then once you go to put it into practice, it's going to not happen, or it's not going to come together. From the acting perspective. The reason why these people in this article are considered not to be able to maintain their level of fame in the different fields they are all in is because they are good rather than great. They do not believe themselves, in my opinion, what they are saying. That's how I wanted to start. I disagree with the people who are doing the commentaries on this article and say that the narcissistic behavior of these people is one where they actually believe they are doing good. And I disagree with that. I'm not talking from the point of view of somebody who can distinguish between a narcissist and what the narcissist does and how does a narcissist work. But I'm talking from the point of view of an acting teacher, the same way that I do in all my videos. The reason why I disagree with that is because I do not believe that any of those people, when they're sitting on their big, huge platforms with so many followers, I do not believe they are doing good for others. I think their selfishness is the part of the selves which takes over. If they were convinced themselves, if they were part of the second group that I was talking about, the part of the group where they believe themselves, such as the great actors do, and they don't have to worry about the audience, or they don't have to worry about making the audience believe, then I would believe more they were using their platform and the tools, they are using them to disrupt for good. If that makes any sense. I don't think it makes any sense because it's not making sense to me. Still confused about the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to try one more time. So how would I behave if I did not believe there was an audience? If there was no camera, if the camera was not, if you shut off the camera right now, if I turn it off, my behavior is going to change. How's my behavior going to change? Because my public persona that I'm trying to put out there for you guys to see is going to be left to the side, and I can just be feeling okay. Nobody's going to see me. I'm just going to use my private persona. So I'm just going to be here, and I'm going to try to figure out how I want to do this episode. I don't understand why these people have a problem with being called narcissist. One of them that's having a problem with it, I'm not sure of the other articles that came out after the Politico article came out, but I know that Meghan Markle's fans or some people from her camp came out to say, how dare anybody puts Meghan Markle in the same group with all these other people, because she herself considers that she is so much better than probably Trump, whom, if we remember when she was part of the royal family back years ago when Trump was the president and Trump was visiting the Queen in England, she wanted nothing to do with it. She did not even want to be part of the whole welcoming of Trump and the whole White House politicians that were on that official trip. So for her, I can understand how she's having a meltdown now, seeing the Politico article and her being put in the same group with Trump. She cannot believe it. And I cannot believe they actually had the courage to do that. This person who wrote this article, I am so glad that somebody's actually calling them out for what they are. No, this is not working. What am I going to do this on? I think this is what I wanted to do with all of them. Everybody in this, okay, this is one of the common elements that they all have. I shouldn't say all, but because I don't know much about, I think I'm just going to talk about Elizabeth Holmes, Meghan Markle, and Trump. I think I'm just going to talk about these three people because I think that I don't know enough about the other two to be able to comment. If I were to put those three people, and if I were to watch them doing an interview, for example, three different people, characters, as I always come to look at these people as characters, as if they were doing a role. Those interviews, let's say they're doing a role and they were coming on, and let's just say, no, okay. What do they all three have in common? This is not working. This is driving me insane right now because it's not working. I cannot believe I'm doing this. Okay. This is so annoying. Why is this so annoying? Why is it that I'm not being able to, I'm not able to put my mind together for some reason. It's so crazy that I'm not able to put my mind together and construct that which I'm trying because I'm trying too hard. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm trying too hard to please you, and I'm trying so hard. Before I had more audience views, I think I was more relaxed and I was able to allow the private persona, meaning I wasn't taking into consideration that I have people watching because I knew that I didn't have a lot of views. So I left myself alone. I didn't give myself that urgent, you have to make the audience like you. You have to make the audience believe that what you're saying. I was able to put that public persona to the side. And now because I know I have more viewers and I'm trying to get more viewers, this is where the danger comes in. Instead of continuing to do the videos the same way that I did them before, now that I know there's a little bit more traffic on my YouTube channel, I'm trying to be different. That's the problem. Okay, so let's just forget that there's anybody watching. If I want to forget that there's anybody watching, what do I want this episode to be about? This episode, which is the last week of the year 2022, what do I want it to be about? I want it to be about understanding that tools being used nowadays by these people in the same group to be narcissists can be used to disrupt for good or can be used to disrupt for bad. What makes someone want to disrupt for good and what makes someone want to disrupt for bad? It's up to their desire to gain power for themselves rather than to serve something that is bigger than who they are. That takes me back to Stanislavski's saying for actors, do not put yourself in the art because then you are just going to be a good actor. Put the art in yourself because that is going to make you a great actor. What does he mean by that, in my opinion, is exactly the difference that I was trying to make between good and great. If I'm here because the one thing that I want to do is to gain audiences for my YouTube channel for myself only, then it means that I'm putting myself in the art. If I am here because I want to gain audience for my YouTube channel with the intention to share the tools of acting so others can benefit from, that means that I'm putting the art in myself. So that is the difference between one and the other. If I'm here only for my self-interest, only because I want to grow the viewers on my YouTube channel, I want to become as known as the other people on the community of YouTubers, that's fine. That's always going to be part of what I want, because I'm a human being, and that desire to gain, to become more and more and more and more is always going to stay with me. But if I add on the knowledge over the last years that I've been teaching, and the confidence that I have that these tools are going to help anybody and are going to benefit people, then the selfishness goes away and the art becomes part of me, rather than me becoming, no, this is not good. Oh my God, this is so annoying that I don't know how to do this episode. How crazy is this that I can't get it done? How do I feel about not being able to get it done? I feel inadequate. Whoa. You know, every time that I was doing this, and I've been doing it for a year now, almost every week, it's always a scary feeling to have right before, when you don't know if you're going to be able to talk for half an hour or an hour, and you're going to have something to say that people are going to be able to gain something from. And this is happening more so than ever before. It was never this bad. This is really bad. Okay, do I get up? What do I do? I think I'm going to get up and just do another take. This is not working. I'm getting up. What am I doing right now? I think I'm just allowing for what is to happen right now. I'm just going to start with the same introduction to see maybe that's going to help me put me on the same path. Hi, everybody. This is Mihaela. Acting tools, which is always my perspective and what I come to my videos with when analyzing situations or different characters, they are beneficial to all. And what do I mean by that? Everybody is talking about the narcissist list of 2022 and how this group of people, of narcissists, are not going to be as engaging as they were. The article, the opinion article in Politico. I'm saying it the way that I want to say it, because if I were to pretend that I can say it with an American accent, I would try to say political, but that's not me. Politico, that's phonetically the way that it's pronounced due to Romanian, which is my first language. These people that are being mentioned in the article, I agree with the article and what it says. I do not believe that these people are going to be able to maintain the sort of public attention that they have so far. The reason why I say that is because in acting, we have good actors try to make the audience believe, and great actors believe themselves. I believe that these people, if they were characters, they would be in the group of they are trying to make the audience believe. And you can only go so far, and only for such a period of time, you're going to be able to do that with audiences. I say this in almost all my videos. Audiences, spectators, we are so much smarter than some of these people give us credit for. If we're going to believe one documentary, as in the case of Meghan Markle, over the 6 hours, some of the people out there believe them. If you're going to believe all of the things that Trump said, and I'm not talking politically because I don't know anything about politics, but I am talking again from an actor's perspective, from an acting teacher's perspective. It worked the first time that he ran for president because it was all new. People were wanting to have somebody come out and be an entertainer. It was one of a kind happening where the politician for the first time came on and due to his past and due to his understanding of what it takes to engage an audience, because he had a reality show that was really good for so many years. He was a new entertainer in politics. He knew how to engage the audience. He knew how to specifically point to somebody in the audience the same way that good actors know how to do. But in order to maintain that, you have to be in the category which is great actors believe themselves. And I believe that because they don't believe what they are saying is true, because they know what they're doing is fake and false, that is not going to sustain itself. People are starting more and more after seeing Meghan and Harry on the Netflix series. The more we see them, the more we realize that what they're saying, they do not believe. They're trying to make us believe what they're saying, but they don't believe it. My opinion. The same maneuvers with the same tools worked the first time and were successful, trying to convince the audience again. This time around, people will not buy it. And I think it is because they do not know how to go beyond that which is good to make it great. Does that make sense? I don't know if it makes sense. If this doesn't make sense, then it's going to be a video about how I'm trying to do this and it's not working. Work in progress. This is work in progress, but it doesn't have. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so frustrated. I cannot believe this is happening. Why is this not working right now? That's how I feel. If I were to make a gesture of how I feel right now, it's like, this is take 4, I believe. Hi, everyone. This is Mihaela with the Art of Experiencing YouTube channel. I thank you so much for subscribing, and I wish that you would continue to subscribe to it. Thank you for watching my latest videos. I want to encourage you to go to some of the other ones that I've done over the last year. There's a lot that has to do with behavior and my analysis of it and my understanding of it and my opinions on it. Okay, yeah, this is not working. I'm not doing this. No, I'm going to stop it. Not working. Nope.